Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanley's going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. Nova.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. But God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Brunson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Okay, so here is what we're going to do. Let me first take away this title. This is as I'm recording, it is September 11th, 2025 here. First off, obviously, hope everybody's doing okay today. It has been 24 years since September 11th, 2001. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I don't remember a lot of things. My long-term memory is complete shit. But I precisely remember that day. I remember getting the call when I was in school, first or second grade. We did like a multi-age day where I think second graders and first graders combined for a class for the day. We did some like some type of event, and we were all in the same classroom. And my teacher gets the call. She gets a call in the middle of class, and it's a call from the office saying that my mother's coming to pick me up. So they stop class. They say, Robert, go to the office. Your mother's coming to pick you up. And I just remember leaving and not knowing what was going on. Going home, seeing it all on the TV, still not really knowing. You know, I asked my mom, could I go outside and play with my neighbor Mikey? Not really understanding why I can't. You know, they want me to stay inside, and yeah. And, you know, I live on the kind of like the edge of New Jersey where there's a road that goes down to my neighborhood. And when you're driving down that road, it's kind of on top of a hill. You can see the entire New York City skyline, clear as day. And I just remember for months on top of months after the attacks, all you saw was smoke, dust. You couldn't see the buildings very clearly. And it was it was forever. So this day is always going to be on my mind. Obviously, I hope everybody who lost somebody or knew somebody who lost someone is doing okay today. And I'm always very appreciative of the first responders. So with that said, we're going to move on here and talk about this Yankees team. The Yankees, again, since it's the 11th, they still have one more game to play tonight against the Tigers, but since they already lost the series, I figured we'd just jump on and get a head start. So let's do that. The second we return from a quick break here, we'll talk Yankees, Tigers, and it'll be a quick show.
Quick break here, guys. Stay connected with BD4 on social media. Follow us on Instagram and X at BD4Pod, and find us on Facebook by searching BD4. Don't miss out. Join the conversation. Want more BD4? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and never miss an episode. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and share with your fellow fans. Don't forget to ring that bell so you're always the first to know when a new video drops.
Okay, welcome back to the show. So, again, Yanks still have one more game to play against Detroit tonight, So we were going to do this some more. We've already done it before. We did it against that Boston series, where if they lose the series and it's a miserable series, I'm not going to waste time waiting for the third game to talk about the series. So I'm not going to sit here and recap the first two games. Not going to sit here and tip my cap to any Yankees in this episode. I'm not going to sit here and complain about things I don't feel like we should be complaining about either regarding this team, which means I'm not going to sit here and complain about the lineup not scoring some runs for a couple of games here like a spoiled brat, as if that isn't par for the course for any elite offense across a 162. No, the offense is going to be fine. The lineup produces runs consistently more than anybody else. That's not an issue. Yes, it's been an issue this series. It's not a big picture takeaway because I'm not spoiled. I'm not a brat like a lot of Yankees fans seem to be on the internet. I'm not even going to complain about the manager, who I have ragged on all year, all tenure really, who I think managed the bullpen atrociously in these two games. Not even going to do that. I am going to take my 15, 20 minutes, however long this show is going to be, to complain about the only thing that people should be complaining about right now. And that is, I don't want to call it a bullpen because I feel like calling this Yankee bullpen a bullpen, that worked. I feel like calling it a Yankee bullpen is a disgrace to a bullpen because this is not a major league bullpen. No World Series contender should be ranked 24th in earned run average as a bullpen. And here the Yankees are with a 4.54 ERA, 24th as a bullpen. That's their biggest issue, folks. Again, we can complain about why did he go to this guy? Why did he keep this guy in for too long, which was, again, valid this series with a couple of guys. But at the end of the day, the options are dwindling when you look at this relief corps. And this bullpen has been a total mess. It's been an abomination. It's just been one giant chaotic pile of heaping trash. And I cannot wait until I don't have to watch this disgusting group of arms give up games and blow leads and just put games to bed. I can't wait until I'm done watching them. Because all season long, they have done everything but made me happy. And it's funny because entering the season, this is one of I was kind of optimistic about the bullpen. I had my concerns for sure. And those concerns are exactly what they turned out to be, just amplified. But I also was confident because they had some big-time weapons. But the way it's shaped out, you have to play the game. Looking at the bullpen on paper doesn't mean anything if they're not getting it done. And their bullpen has done nothing but walk guys all year and then give up the big hit. It's funny because they walk guys or they pitch outside the zone because they don't want to give up the big hit, but they end up giving it up after the walks anyway. And I think that's their biggest issue, the walks and the lack of fastball arms. I think that goes hand in hand. The Yankees have the 9th highest walk rate in Major League Baseball. The only contending team who has walked more batters, the Toronto Blue Jays. You look at the other teams who have walked more batters than the Yankees, it's like the Rockies, the Angels, the Athletics, the White Sox, the Cincinnati Reds, the Baltimore Orioles. It's like, it's bad company. So the problem with this bullpen is pretty simple to me. It's that the Yankees have a ton of off-speed specialists who rely on getting chases, right? Who rely on getting chase, I should say. They're always pitching outside the zone with their change-ups and their splitters and forkballs, screwballs, sliders, sweepers, etc. They're always relying on getting swing and miss outside the strike zone with their breaking balls. They're a bunch of breaking ball guys. They don't have enough guys whose best weapon is their fastball. Guys who will attack the zone and pitch fearless and go right at you with 97 plus down the pipe. The David Bednar types, right? That's why we all love Bednar. May not always be perfect in that ninth inning. He has some stressful appearances already, but he's going to attack you 98 top of the zone. But the Yankees, over the last couple of years, they've spent a lot of their money, a lot of their assets on their lineup and their rotation. And they don't like, and I put this in quotes, overspending on bullpen. Well, this is the result of trying not to spend too much on your bullpen. When you've got the money to spend and you have the assets to use, probably don't be afraid to spend and use that on relief pitching, even if it's, for whatever reason that it seems risky for you. So, you can do what they've been doing because Matt Blake and Sam Breen and the Yankee pitching development lab has been great. You can scoop guys up off the scrap heap for cheap all you want. But there's a limit to that. And I feel like we've exceeded that limit. The odds are that those guys that you find off the Dollar Tree, they will be off speed and spin projects, spin rate guys, right? They're not going to be hard throwing fastballers because you're not just going to find that. You can't teach 97 like you can teach a breaking baller to spin the ball more. Talent like that, you have to actually go out and make an effort to grab. So when you load up your bullpen with Devin Williams and Mark Leiter Jr. and Fernando Cruz and etc., all of these off-speed merchants, those guys are always going to try to make the perfect off-speed pitch versus attacking the zone with their fastball since they don't have that deadly fastball in their back pocket, right? Leiter, Cruz, Williams, all those guys top out at 94. Their fastball isn't what they're known for. So I feel like next year, in the offseason this winter, the Yankees really need to focus on countering power with power, right? The game's all about the home run. Everyone hits home runs. Everybody's focusing on launch angles and exit velocities. How do you counter it? You counter that with power on the other end, velocity. They need some more fastballers. So I'm not saying guys who can throw 103 and miss by feet like Camilo Doval every night, but guys who just have a good fastball, and the odds are guys who are good fastball pitchers are going to have some type of heat on their pitch. That's what they need to do because they're bottom third in velocity and they're top of the league in walks. It's not. I just feel like that's where they need to be trending. Get a little bit more modern with your philosophy and stop trying to spam off speed pitches for whatever reason it may be, because if it's lack of command or if it's you're just pitching afraid or the analytics department's telling you to throw more off speed, it's reaping its ugly head. And so you're seeing this now game after game. It's just piled up where all these walks and all the pitching afraid and all of this, it's leading to these meltdown innings. And we literally spoke about this. We had a subtopic in the YouTube called Meltdown Innings in a recent episode. We literally brought it up, how the Yankees like to shit down their leg in 1 inning per game or per big game whenever they play these teams. And a big reason for it, yes, it's the managerial decision-making sometimes. A lot of the time it can be errors, base running blunders, but a big reason is also the walks. And you go back to Tuesday night, the very first game of this series, the bullpen allowed 9 runs in the 7th inning without recording a single out. I'll say that one more time. The bullpen on Tuesday night, before they recorded a single out, issued 9 consecutive runs. Will Warren gets pulled. Again, you could talk about the Boone decision there. Totally understand that. A little too soon. Third time through, don't care. He was pitching well. I get it. Fernando Cruz has to do his job. Gives up the leadoff double to Riley Green. Then he gets Spencer Torkelson, who's an okay hitter this year. He's ahead in the count to him 0-2. Ends up walking the guy. The next batter is Perez. He walks Perez, and he's nowhere close to the zone. So Meadows hits the RBI single. And then this number 8 hitter comes to the plate. He walks the number 8 hitter, throwing a bunch of splitters and sinkers. Why? What are you doing dancing around the number 8 bat? So Mark Leiter Jr. comes in, immediately gives up an RBI single because of Fernando Cruz can't throw strikes. Hits the number 2 hitter with a pitch, walks Gleyber Torres, and then he gives up the big blast 2-run triple because he's putting guys on with free pass. So the Yankees, between Cruz and Leiter, issued 5 free passes when you include that hit by pitch. 5 giveaway at-bats. Trying to make the perfect pitch, dancing around the zone because you don't want to give up the big hit. You end up walking the guy and then giving up the big hit anyway. It's crazy. That's how you lead to these meltdown innings. On Wednesday, yesterday, the Yankees had another meltdown inning. It wasn't walks. This time it was just Camilo Doval being par for the course. I mean, he's been horrible as a Yankee. Base hit, 2-run shot, ground out double, pulled for Tim Hill. Tim Hill comes in, base hit, fly out, 2-run shot. All of a sudden, a 3-run game in the 8th inning, still somewhat within reach, becomes an 8-1 game and it's over. So I just don't see it happening with the Yankees this year. I don't think they're going to get it done in October. And it's not because they're losing games to the Detroit Tigers and they're losing games to the Boston Red Sox. No, it's because of how they lose these games. No team accomplishes these unthought of meltdowns like the Yankees have, and then they go on to win a World Series. No team has ever done that. Let's just be completely honest. What team does that? What team makes 5 errors in an inning and ends up winning a championship that year? What team walks a bunch of guys and gives up 9 runs before recording it out and then goes on to win a championship? That's not a championship team. This team's not going to win shit. They're going to win a bunch of games, 90-plus by the end of the year. They're going to get the top wild card spot, I think. They're going to get booted right away because they're just not a true contender. So that's all I have. I'm not even going to extend this episode further than it needs to be. I just wanted to complain about this excuse they call of a bullpen for a few minutes here. So I appreciate you all tuning in. That's going to be it. This is your Yankees-Tigers series recap, episode 899. Next episode, episode 900, most likely be talking Yankees-Red Sox. Within the next couple of weeks here, if I can get to it, I want to try to talk Knicks because it's been a minute, and obviously the season's approaching very soon. So I'm excited to shift towards that. But we'll be doing Yankees. Yanks, Red Sox upcoming next. But hopefully the Yankees can salvage this Detroit series with a meaningless win tonight. Hopefully, it helps them gain some separation on Boston, who's off tonight. So we'll see. Appreciate you all. See you soon. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.